Happy rainy Saturday to everybody as we pass time before 49ers Cardinals tomorrow. You might have noticed the live that I did walking over to the coffee shop talking about the two games today, Raiders and Chiefs, followed by Titans and Jaguars. Both of those have a little bit of an impact on the 49ers, one for scheduling purposes, one for historical purposes. So go ahead and check out that other video. Today, I'm expanding on yesterday's conversation. Kyle Shanahan discussed Brandon Ayuk, and there obviously was a little bit of controversy in the public surrounding that. D'Amico Ryans, the 49ers defensive coordinator, also shared some criticism of one of his players, Talanoa Hufanga, this week in a press conference. And it was interesting to me because Ryan's tone and words were different for Hufanga than they were for 49ers cornerback Deommodore Lenoir. Both are second-year players, both struggled at times against the Raiders. Obviously, the 49ers have a lot to fix defensively after that game. But why don't we break down some of the language that D'Amico Ryans used and use it to really parse through what the 49ers might be thinking in this situation and explain why the message regarding both young defensive backs was different. First, here is D'Amico Ryans on Talanoa Hufanga.
Hey, Demo is a young man, right? He has to clean up his eyes. There's too many big plays we're giving up, and Huff knows that. You have to clean up your eyes, especially when you're, protecting us in the back end. You're the eraser for us. If your eyes can't be dirty, you can't be in the backfield, right? And he knows that. He has to get better at it.
Can you kind of explain what eye discipline?
Eye discipline, it simply comes down to when you're in, whatever zone coverage, man cover. You have a certain progression of keys and where your eyes should be. And where guys get caught a lot of times is guys are looking in the backfield at the action of the back or the quarterback when they don't need to, right? And if you're doing that and you're not progressing and looking at the proper things, whether it's a route concept, whether you're passing a route concept off, whether it's a particular man who's coming within your zone, right? If your eyes should be in that area and they're not, it's going to be really hard to make plays. Guys in this league are too fast, they're too good for you to not look at the proper thing and then try to look late. And if you look late, it's too late, right? And guys will make you pay. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. The guys in this league are too good. They'll make you pay.
Okay, this was a real problem for the 49ers against the Raiders, and I think Las Vegas caught the 49ers defense napping because there was no Derek Carr. They obviously went to the backup Jarrett Stidham, and the Raiders did enter the game with the leading rusher in the NFL and Josh Jacobs. So the 49ers were gambling that the Raiders would just be running safe all game with a backup quarterback and a productive run game. Obviously, from drive one onward, that did not happen. The Raiders suckered the 49ers in with play fakes. The 49ers were overly eager to bite on them. And the very first touchdown of the game probably should have told you everything that you needed to know about where the 49ers' mind was. And it was in the run game. It wasn't in the pass game. It was a play fake from Jarrett Stidham, and Talanoa Hufanga bit hard on the play fake. The big tight end, Darren Waller, got behind him and was wide open for a touchdown. The very first Raiders completion earlier in that drive, same thing. Play fake. I believe it was Fabian Moreau out to the near side, tight end, made the catch, big gain, got Las Vegas rolling. This was a theme throughout the game. The 49ers were imbalanced in their defense between run and pass because they had, I think, just been lulled to sleep over the course of the week, thinking that Jarrett Stidham, with only 61 career passes, would be handing off most of the time. Instead, he turned around, dropped 365 yards on them. So one of the primary culprits was obviously Talanoa Hufanga, because, I mean, he's an instinctual player. He likes living in that backfield. He likes blowing up those run plays. But the problem is, if he's biting too early and some of those run plays aren't actually run plays, they're fakes, you could see the potential downside. And D'Amico Ryans was very, very open about the fact that Talanoa Hufanga needs to be better. We normally don't hear D'Amico be that critical of his players in a post-game press conference. Normally the answers, I will say, are vanilla from D'Amico Ryans. He's polished. He goes up there and he says, he delivers the time that he needs to in front of the media, but he's not going to be somebody who comes away with a massive quote that somebody could use as bulletin board material or that could disrupt the locker room. But here he felt that it was necessary to point out one of Hufanga's flaws that recurred during the course of that game against the Raiders. Funny enough, though, Deommodore Lenoir statistically had the worst game for the 49ers. He gave up 5 catches and 108 yards. He was victimized by several of the Raiders' targets, including Darren Waller. Devontae Adams obviously was in on that big catch late against Deommodore Lenoir. So let's listen in to see D'Amico Ryan's evaluation of Deommodore Lenoir's performance and notice that it's not nearly as critical as the one of Talanoa Hufanga.
I think Demo is a young player who stepped in for us. I think he's done some really good things. He's grown a lot. Right? He's grown a lot. He's been steady for us out there, and of course, for all of us, we can all make more plays. We can all play better, and he's falls in that category as well. But I'm happy with the growth that I've seen from Demo throughout the year, and he'll continue to get better with the more reps that he gets. He'll continue to get better. It's truly his first year of truly playing and being out there for us. So it's encouraging to see where he is and where he's headed.
Okay, of course, there are people that are all up in arms about this difference, but what I see here is two different players and two different motivational styles from D'Amico Ryans, which to me is good coaching. You have to tailor your coaching to the players that you have on the roster. Keep in mind that Talanoa Hufanga is a Pro Bowler. Yes, he's a Pro Bowler now. Yes, they're both in their second year, Hufanga and Lenore, but Talanoa Hufanga is a Pro Bowler now. He's a star in the NFL. If you're a Pro Bowler, you're a star. So, that probably explains some of the more critical tone from D'Amico Ryans versus what he had for Deommodore Lenoir, who is a cornerback depth piece pressed into duty this year. Think about all the injuries that the 49ers have had at the cornerback position. This was supposed to be Emmanuel Mosley's spot opposite Charvarius Ward. Next in line was Jason Verrett, but he tore that Achilles, right, at practice. That was a tragic incident there for Jason Verrett because he was trying to make yet another comeback to NFL play, and there seemed to be a slot right for him in that 49ers lineup, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So Deommodore Lenoir was the next man up. He's actually worked his way ahead of Ambry Thomas this year on the pecking order. Thomas hurt again, ankle injury. He's not going to play in this game on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. But I think the 49ers are just taking this at face value, and they say, hey, Deommodore Lenoir is a young corner. He actually has been improving week to week, and they realized that he was tossed into some really tough one-on-one matchups against the Raiders. You talk about Darren Waller. He's 6'7". They're playing zone defense, but it was kind of a man zone, right? Because within the scheme of the zone, Deommodore Lenoir on that one play had to pick up Darren Waller. That's not a jump ball that Deommodore Lenoir is going to win at 5'11" or so against a Darren Waller that is at that 6'7" height. Devontae Adams, he's going to beat most cornerbacks in the league. It's Devontae Adams, right? So it's a situation where I think that the 49ers are absolutely realistic about the potential shortcomings of Deommodore Lenoir being a backup and recognizing that Talanoa Hufanga is a Pro Bowler. So I think ultimately it's important to look at this holistically. It's about how the back end gels for the 49ers. They all have to play better. And D'Amico Ryans is going to be coaching these guys in a way that he thinks is going to attain that goal. And different types of coaching for different players, different motivation, that's good coaching. So I hope that explains the difference for you all. Much more coming on this Saturday, some stuff from around the city. So I'll talk to you all soon.